Welcome to yours truly, alexansory.com. My latest thoughts and reflections on the strange world we live in, a culture which I believe to be likened to an operating system with bugs in it. You know what happens when you have a bug, a virus too long in your operating system, you have a crash. And it's the fallout that we can actually now see coming into view. When I think of survival, I think more than food preparation. I think more about where my water comes from. It's about who my friends are, where my family is, where I'm at psychologically, where I'm at spiritually. I feel this system is truly here to break down our spirit, more than just take our land. One of the things that woke me up to the reality behind the lie, the official lie of September 11, 2001, was the use of fear and intense propaganda and racism to fulfill their agenda. How obvious it was to me. And I began to see a change happening in America, around the world, in terms of consciousness and controlling people's minds to be completely blind. So for a lot of you out there listening, the 9/11 lie, since then, has woken us up to larger lies, and that's the very thing that prevents people from grasping 9/11, is that they begin to actually question reality, governments, how things are structured, why wars happen in the first place, who controls our banking establishment in the first place, and why it's even necessary, why all these things exist. Well, now we're entering a different era, where X marks the spot. And we don't truly know how much time we have left to communicate this message over the web, this form of communication. The only way we're truly going to be able to survive, since the word, the things that are going to come, is if we have the ability and the willingness to adapt to the challenges of the current habitat. On one level, you have a couple different options in terms of technology. If the grid goes down, you have shortwave radios. I particularly recommend the hand crank ones. You have CB radios, you have two-way radios. I don't rely on cell phones, and I don't recommend that you rely on a cell phone either. In a crisis, you also have police scanners. Now that's technology. The real value in your community, if the grid goes down, if an E-bomb is dropped, if the ATMs one day, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, aren't working, which is not that impossible. In fact, a couple months ago, we had people in an unrelated story from ATMs lined up around a bank trying to pull out their money. And they had a problem there, and that just goes to show you, we don't have the access to our wealth that many of us have in the banks. So the real value in our own community is each other. And that's even beyond the CB radios, the technology, our own food. Because the point's going to come out. The point's going to come where those very things run out. And that's all we have is each other. I don't see the last 7 years since 9/11 as being the same regular conversation about the world that we live in. It's been in a state of evolution. Now, I don't mean to say that our consciousness is evolving. I believe our consciousness is evolved. It's our body machine. It's this vehicle that we're living in that evolves, and our perceptions and the smashing of our belief systems to truly see through the veil. All of this information that is coming out should be used to aid us to move forward in our own lives, to not let the system break us. And I mean that in the psychological sense of the word, because we're living in a nation of zombies where many people's spirits have already been broken. Because what I see in the eyes of my coworkers, people I went to school with, are nothing more than people that believe that they have no power. They have no place making their own decisions when it comes to what kind of food they put in their body or what kind of laws are passed in their local communities. It's as if it's been ingrained into our DNA to live out our lives as serfs. Well, our leaders, my friends, are misleaders. And this reality is very, very clear. What does not seem to be as clear is who are the real leaders in our community. The truth beyond that is this fact that we have to face is that we have to become our own leaders. That when these things begin to transpire, orders will not be coming from headquarters. They're going to have to come from our own heart. We've been taught from the Womb to Tomb program that we have to fear so many things on this planet, including perceptions and thoughts that may be deemed to be outside the realm of the doctrine preached at your local church or your local mosque or monastery. And in a world where people have become dependent on both religion and government to provide them with a sense of structure of one form or another, is the very thing that we have to examine when we discuss what it means to be free and what it means to utilize free speech far beyond the political realm and spectrum. Unless we're able to fully operate out of heart consciousness and out of mind-body consciousness, we're going to continue this very bizarre, weird dance with the devil, worshiping ourselves and our wants, prancing around like peacocks, guarding our ego with suspicion, grasping at the outside world to bring us pleasure. No, my friends, the standard of living in America is not the only thing that's changing. Our awareness is changing. As the iron fist, cloaked in a velvet glove, tightens its grasp on the populations of the world, more people are awakening. You know none of this is by accident. You know it's by design. But you've got to believe, at least play with the idea that you're here for a reason. That we're discussing things this evening which are going to remain in your head for a lifetime, only because this information is validated and the changes are escalating.